Today we have a sophomore opposite hitter on our volleyball team. This season, in her first season in a starting role, she's currently second on the team in total blocks and fourth on the team in total kills and kills per set. This is Reese Robins. Thanks for being here.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Danny texts me and she's like, hey, saw you playing today. And she thought I was going for a ball, in the, I was playing back row, in the stands or bleachers or whatever. I had just tripped, so I just fell over. Yeah, everybody carries themselves differently.
Definitely,
It's how you play, it's how you process your mistakes, your good things. And I feel like that, if I didn't know who I was off the court, I wouldn't be able to successfully transition from if I make a bad play or something, I wouldn't be able to get over it.
Imagine facing a challenge every day that could hold you back. But for me, type 1 diabetes isn't a limit. It's a reason to inspire others. Spencer Stand is here to show kids that they can chase their dreams, no matter the obstacle. Through game day experiences, personal workouts, and virtual chats, Spencer Stand brings support, hope, and empowerment to kids with diabetes. Join me in making a stand. Visit spencerstand.com to learn more.
Welcome to Beyond the Court, where we dive into the stories of powerful female athletes. I'm your host, Tori Dilfer-Stringer, and each week we'll explore the triumphs, challenges, and passions that drive these student athletes both on and off the court. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back to Beyond the Court. Today we have a sophomore opposite hitter on our volleyball team. This season, in her first season in a starting role, she's currently second on the team in total blocks and fourth on the team in total kills and kills per set. This is Reese Robins. Thanks for being here.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited. It'll be fun to kind of get to know you. And yeah, let's just start with your journey, just kind of fill us in on that.
So I started playing volleyball when I was, I want to say 8. Okay. It's kind of blurry now because I'm now 19.
Yeah.
So, that's crazy. But so both of my parents actually play basketball.
Okay.
Or played, sometimes still a little occasional,
Yeah.
And so they were like, girl, you're playing basketball. And then I was like, I don't actually like touching people like that. I don't want to do that. No, thank you. My mom was like, she was just joking, but she was like, I had you so you could play basketball. So what do we do? Get out there, girl. But yeah, and then I thought in my 7-year-old mind, I was like, I just made up a new sport, mom, volleyball. And then she was like, no, okay, there's actually a thing. And so she was like, she found a little rec league for me. Okay. I joined that. And then after a while, they were like, okay, she needs to move on to the next level. Mm-hmm. So I got into club and I went to ACE first. Okay. First ever club, loved it there. Literally felt so at home. I feel like that was my second home, especially since I was I didn't know how to be tall at the moment, if that makes sense. And so I was like, okay. And there I just felt like, oh, okay, I can just unapologetically be tall, be me. And I was like, oh, this is so nice. Mm. So that closed down. And then I went to Drive Nation, where I found my, again, second family. Mm. And I just loved everybody there, loved the coaching staff, loved the girls so much, loved the parents so much. Literally, my favorite years of club were there, literally amazing. And then I started recruiting and everything. Mm-hmm. And I had gone through I didn't really know what I was looking for or anything. Mm-hmm. And it was right after nationals, the night nationals ended. And Danny texts me and she's like, hey, saw you playing today. And she thought I was going for a ball, in the, I was playing back row in the stands or bleachers or whatever. I had just tripped. So I just fell over. Yeah.
Hilarious.
And I was just like, okay, didn't even get the ball. But she was like, wow, I love your hustle, blah, 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 this and that. And I was like, oh. And then she was like, I want to talk about being a right side. I was a middle for my whole life. Yeah. I've never been anything else but a middle. So I was laying in bed and I sit up and I looked to my mom and should I just delete this? Yeah. I'm so scared. And I was like, shit. And my mom was like, are you crazy? No, text her back. And I didn't know sorry about this. I didn't know who Louisville was. I was like, what? And honestly, as a person, I don't really watch a lot of sports.
Okay.
So the little that I do watch is like if I'm downstairs with my mom and like she's like, oh, let's watch this game. Like, oh my gosh. And so like I just didn't really know. Like, I love volleyball and I like playing it, but like at the time watching it for people that were older than me, it didn't like interest me. Like I loved watching like girls my age in club. Like I'd be like, oh, okay, let's go watch this court three courts down. But like college players, I was just like, okay, yeah, but no. But I was like, okay, I don't know. She was like, no, talk to them. And so I was like, okay, I'll be open-minded. And, you know, now I'm here.
Yeah.
So
thank goodness you didn't delete that text.
Yeah, I know.
Seriously.
I was like, no. Just ghosted, but like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. But I texted her back and then we started, I don't even remember what we started talking about, but we started, obviously. And now, here. Yeah.
That's amazing. Wow, what a cool story. I feel like, one, I totally get the like not really knowing much about Louisville. Like you're from Texas, which is such a big volleyball state, you know, like you had your pick of clubs and all high school volleyball there is so good. And there's so many schools in Texas and with great volleyball programs. So like, I don't really blame you. Like I didn't look outside of my area for a while too. But I think it's so cool that one thing that speaks a lot to this program, and I'm sure you kind of like, it's now become more of a home and a family to you as you're a year and a half or so in, is that like, we do have a bunch of people from everywhere and it still becomes a home to everybody. And I think that's a testament to the culture and the coaching staff and all the girls that they bring in and that they find people that are looking for that. They're not just looking for a place to play volleyball, they're looking for another home. And I think that's like why we get so many out-of-state kids. And so I'm thankful you didn't delete that text. I think all of our fans and our coaching staff definitely is. But okay, let's talk a little bit more about that transition from being a middle to opposite. And for people that don't really know, volleyball, completely different positions. Mostly in the front row, a lot of, you know, you're usually taller, but it's so different. You're faster tempo in the middle, blocking more. Like, how did that go? And what helped with that transition?
So when I first came, I think like the first practice I came to, I honestly don't know if anybody knew I used to be a middle besides like my class maybe, especially like Alana, because we played her team in club a lot. And like in club, I was still a middle. And so I like went off with the middles and Aiko at the time. And like, she went first and I was just looking at her. I was like, okay. Cause like trying to get the timing down, I was like, I don't know when I'm supposed to go. So I was just like looking at her and I was like, okay, now go.
Yeah.
And then like I did it and it was like, I hit the ball, it was fine. And then I turned to her, I was like, hey, so like, when do I go? And she was like, what are you talking about? I was like, yeah, no, I don't know. Like I've never done this before. She was like, what? And she was like, okay, that was really good. And I was like, okay, thank you. Yes. And I feel like the hardest part was just getting the timing down and everything and not sticking with the middle. Because like as a former middle, like whenever I'm blocking, I'm like, okay, the middle's coming. So like, let's go ahead and stay with her. And so like they would be going on Bs and I'd be like,
jumping with it before,
and then I'd get pulled down the line or something. And I'd be like, dang it. And so it was just like wiring my brain to like not focus on the middle because the actual middles that are here are going to take care of that. And then focusing on the outside. And I'm like, that was probably the hardest because I had to like rewire my brain to be like, okay, that's not your responsibility. Like this is. And also I'd say timing. Because as a middle, like you're going quick. Sometimes you don't even get like 3 steps off the net. You're just like, oh, turn and go back in. And so I would like kick all the way out and then just go way too early. And then I've landed in the balls at its peak. And I'm like, so that's just not, like, was I supposed to hit that? Like, dang it, my bad. So those were probably the hardest things to like get rid of, like habits to like kill, I guess. Was those two. And they were, I still do like on out of system balls, I'm going way too early. I'm like, okay, well, my bad.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you've had years playing volleyball since you're 8, and the majority of that being in high school and club, you know, the most intense volleyball, you're playing a completely different position. Like you're seeing the game from a different perspective. Like you said, like your responsibilities are different. Like the things you have to prioritize on the court are different. And in volleyball, it's so important because all of us have to be prioritizing our, you know, the right thing in order for it to work together. So, I mean, that transition has got to be tough. I'm Thankful I never went through one of those, because people that change the position this late in their career too, or late, not in your overall career, but like after high school, it's pretty amazing, because it's hard to break habits. You know, like you've built this muscle memory and habits. But okay, so along with transitioning, that was at the same time as you coming into college, and you're away from home. You know, life changes a lot. What was that like for you? And again, kind of what helped you, and what were, you know, the obstacles you had to overcome?
Yeah, I would say overall I'm a very independent person. Like, I feel like I'm okay with, like, I can be alone and everything. But when I first came to college, we had our Brazil trip, which was like a dream.
Yeah.
I literally, like, one of my like biggest goals in life is like to travel. And so I was like, oh my gosh, in Brazil, like it wasn't even on my list, but like it is, like, I want to go again. It was so much fun. It was so beautiful. It's such an amazing experience. And I feel, hey, can you say the question again? I kind of forgot when I was.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
I was just asking about, so your transition from middle to right side is at the same time as you're coming into college. You know, it's not an easy time. What are kind of the obstacles you had to overcome, and then what helped with that transition?
Yeah, I think it was kind of a lonelier time, because I had to come right after, so I graduated, and then the next day I came to college because of our trip to Brazil. And what happened? It's kind of a blur now, because everything's so awesome and amazing now. But I came, and then I met like Briggy, who was our setter last year, my dub sub partner. I love you, Briggy. And then we like roomed together at Belknap, which is like a regular dorm, like 2 beds, 1 room. And it was hard because I love my privacy. I love, like, when I want to be alone, I want to be alone. But I also didn't have my friends and my family, like all of that. And like, obviously now everybody's like my family, but at the time I was like, I didn't really know everybody that well. Like, we didn't like know each other on that level. So it was kind of just like meaningless talk. Like, yeah, the weather is it was kind of cold when I went out there today, man. Like, you should probably wear a jacket. Just like, do you want the lights turned off now? Is that cool? Like, stuff like that. And so it was just like hard to find a connection. I was like, oh my gosh, I miss home and everything and stuff like that. And I obviously miss my family and my friends the most. That's like, I just need connections, and now I obviously have that. So.
But it takes time to build them. Yeah, like you come in and it's like, I have to start all over.
Yeah.
How do you feel like the Brazil trip, the foreign trip, helped that speed that process up a little bit, since you guys were with each other nonstop for what? You guys were gone for like 3 weeks? Maybe even more.
Was it 3 weeks?
It was a long time.
Yeah,
I remember.
it was
a
really
while.
long time. I think it did a little bit. I got to like know like people in my class a little bit better too, and then like all of the upperclassmen as well. And I roomed with Cece Rush at the time, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I love her. She's so fun, and she was also my like pepper partner too. And I was like, oh my gosh, like love her. And then I got closer with like Alana, who is now my ride or die. And so like that was like, I feel like it was just like an opportunity to like throw yourselves into it and like get the feel of the team and all of that stuff. So that was really fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so I want to know a little bit more about you as a person. And I loved what you said earlier, that when you were younger, you didn't really know how to be tall and be comfortable in that. And so you had great experiences with volleyball and club, you know, finding places that you can be that. What else in, you know, off the court has helped you really find out who Reese is and, you know, really lean into that?
Well, I feel like just trying out my hobbies. I feel like I really found what I loved whenever COVID hit, which is kind of ironic because like you stay at home. But like, I love learning languages. Like, I actually just changed my major, so.
You did?
Yeah, I was a French major.
Okay, I knew that.
Now I'm a minor. It's still there, guys. I promise. But I was a French major because I was just like, I just want to learn a language. Like, that's like probably one of my top goals. Like, I want to learn a language.
It's amazing. And so travel,
bad.
so you can put it together.
I know, like, so if anybody has a job that pertains to both of those, please let me know, please. And I changed it to business and marketing with a minor in French. Yeah. So I feel like that, like, so many possibilities.
Totally.
But I rambled again. Can you tell me the question?
No, that's okay. Just what has helped you kind of find out more about who you are and become comfortable in that off the court mostly, but like you said, hobbies, you know, what has kind of helped you learn who Reese is? Okay.
So during COVID, I was like on another language kick. I was like, let's try to learn anotve language. I've like tried to learn before college and everything, ASL, Spanish, French, Korean.
Wow.
Swedish.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Probably another one I forgot kind of, but yes. And so
Pretty
at
good
the
resume
time,
right
I know I've learned none of them, but they were all super fun to like
at least
dive
explore.
into. Yeah, I know. And so I started with I was like, let's try Korean. And so I was like, a tip that I've learned is that like if you want to like get really good at a language, you have to like submerge yourself into it. So I was like, okay, I'll start listening to the music. That was a rabbit hole. So if you want to jump into that. And then
I do want to talk about that later because I'm so interested.
And so then like from there I made a lot more friends. Like I gained deeper connections with a lot of my friends that were like kind of acquaintances, but like friends.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a word for that. Friend acquaintance? I don't know. But I like got closer with them because we shared the same music taste after that. And then like we're like, okay, let's go to concerts.
Yeah.
Then concerts became my hobby. And within like K-pop and like that industry, there's like a lot of dancing.
Okay.
And I like love to dance, and I was like, okay, let me like just try to learn a few. And so like I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. I love this. And so like I learned that I love to dance too, and then I love music. Obviously, there's so many different music. Like my liked songs on Spotify is like just different phases of me throughout the years. Like when I scrolled to a song, I was like, oh, she was in this right now.
Yeah.
Like,
it's amazing how music can do that for us though, and it becomes like I have memories that like I connect with a certain song or with an artist because like it was such a big thing in my life then. And okay, so like you said, this was during COVID.
Yeah.
And so you go down that rabbit hole of K-pop because you're learning Korean. That is so cool. I want to hear more about that.
Okay, so I feel like, and then after a while, I kind of just fizzled out with the actually learning.
Okay.
Because I was like, I got back into school because that started up
Makes
again.
sense.
They were like, hey girl, you can't, you gotta do the work. So I was like, okay, but I still listen to K-pop, and then I met some of my like good friends, and I still have like acquaintances that like I've met at a concert, and I was like, hey, can I borrow a charger? And now like I just like send them stuff about like stuff, and it's like, it's such a like, it's a big community, but it's like a good community. I really love like all my friends that I've made through K-pop are like, even like through volleyball, like one of my friends, Mia.
Okay.
She's like my concert buddy. Like we would like, when I first started, I went to my first concert with her, like my first concert ever. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like such a big moment. And it was so much fun. And so I just feel like it was a great way to like, for me to make friends and then find out the things that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
And I'd never like before, you know how people like One Direction or like Justin Bieber, what were the other groups back then? I feel like,
Gosh.
those are like the main.
Big Time Rush.
Big Time. I was thinking Big Time Rush.
Yep.
Big Time Rush or 5 Seconds of Summer.
Yep.
Summer.
Yep.
Okay. Stuttered. My bad.
That's all right.
And then I like never loved any of those groups, and I was like, I feel like I'm missing out. Like I need like that boy group or like girl group. Like I need to like be obsessed with a group or something. And I was like, it's like everybody else had that phase. Where's mine? And it was coming. It was loading because then I was like, oh my gosh, like I literally love this group. And then I got to go. I've seen like most of the groups that I've like die-hearted over. So
how many concerts have you been to in total?
Oh wow. In 2023, I probably went to 6.
Oh my gosh.
That's just K-pop. I mean, I went to like other concerts too. Like I went to Rex Orange County. That's really all I can think of. Like I'd have to like scroll through my Instagram and be like, okay, 1. And sometimes I do that. I'm like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm like,
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh, that's so fun though. Wow. Yeah. Okay, other interests. So you said dancing, music, K-pop specifically, but music in general. What else?
I really like makeup. I feel like a big part of like why I also liked going to concerts, an expensive hobby, but worth it, like is because I get to plan out the outfits. I get to like plan out my makeup looks for it, my hairstyles for it. Like I'd have like basically a calendar in my head. Like the second I buy the ticket, I'm like, okay, in 3 weeks, I need to find the shirt that I want. I need to like, I'm basically sketching out the outfit. I'm like, okay, the top needs to be this color because the concept was this color. And then I'm like, okay, I buy the outfit. Then I'm like, okay, a month before the concert, let's start listening to all of their music. And then I just like do all of that for every concert I go to. And it's like, I don't even need to. Like I can just go in blind, but it's like,
no, but it's fun.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
And then I do like I like doing gyms and stuff, and just I'm not the best. Like I'm not like, oh, let's hire her. But I'm definitely like, oh, she ate, like she did good. Like, oh, she knows what she's doing. But it's just like a fun process. I love trying different looks. and like makeup styles and everything, and just dolling myself up, because normally like when I'm in season, I'm just like, I'm not gonna try to do makeup.
No,
like,
I feel you, girl.
Like, I'm tired. No, I don't want to do this. So when it's like, when I get my time, I'm like, this is nice.
That is so cool. Okay, so I just love that, like, I have seen the Reese on the volleyball court. I know what you're like. I've seen you in a practice setting, you know, but hearing about Reese off the court is so special, because you're not two different people. You're obviously the same, but like, you know who you are off the court, and you have things that really feed into that and help you, you know, create even a deeper confidence.
Yeah.
And do you feel like knowing who you are off the court has helped you with a confidence in just knowing who you are on the volleyball court as well?
Yeah, I do think it kind of they tie into each other. Me off the court, I feel like, I don't know. I don't think there's one word to describe anybody.
Yeah.
So I don't like those questions like one word to describe yourself. I'm like, I don't know. Like, we got to make a new word or something.
Yeah.
But I feel like just having the confidence I do now to know myself and like know who I am, what I like, those types of things translates onto the court, because I still have that same confidence, and I play a different way than if I were to play like, I can't play how like Debo or Charity plays, because I'm not them. And I have to take from who I am outside of the court and bring it onto the court. Like certain things, like, I don't know if there's like an example to give, but let me think of one. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Like, I think I handle things a different way than others would, and that's like normal.
Yeah.
Like on the court, if I make a mistake, or like if something goes wrong, or like if they're like, was that not out? Was that ball out or something? Like if I hit the ball and it may or may not have been out, I'm just like, it was out. Let's move on. Let's go. And I'm like, I feel like I carry myself in a different way than everybody else, and everybody carries themselves differently.
Definitely,
like it's how you play. It's how you process your mistakes, your like good things. And I feel like that, like, if I didn't know who I was off the court, I wouldn't be able to like successfully transition from, like, if I make a bad play or something, I wouldn't be able to get over it as well, because I don't know how I would like to get over it, because I don't know who I am. I guess if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. It makes a ton of sense. I love that you've like, you can tell you've done this introspection. Like, you know what makes you on and off the court, obviously, and then what like works for you, you know, like you having such a strong identity and such great hobbies and like really immersing yourself into other things helps you obviously as a person. Yeah. But it also, you've taken those things and then learned who you are as a volleyball player and a teammate and a competitor, you know, and then you're able to kind of tie that into a team setting. And I think that's one of the most interesting things is there's all these individuals on this court that have different talents on the court, and then they have different interests off the court, and then they have different responses, and tying all that together is such a beautiful thing when it can happen. And so I'm curious, this is your first year in a like starting role. Like, you are a key piece, and you contributed a ton last year in key moments. I remember that dub sub coming in and just like changing the game. It was amazing. But it's a different role to be a starter and know that you're looked at every match. How have you kind of handled that?
Yeah, I think at the beginning when I first came to Louisville, like with changing my position and everything, I lost my confidence as like a player, because like as a middle and club, like I just felt like I was like dominant. I knew who I was. I knew what I had to do. I knew my role, my responsibility while on the court and everything. And so like coming in and then like having to change positions and basically start from square one was really hard. But I feel like as time, like I feel like playing on the court gives you confidence in like yourself and like kind of reassurance. Yeah. And like over time of like being really upset. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like everybody goes through that stage of like, oh my gosh, I feel like I can't do anything right on the court. Like, take me out, please. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I feel like we also like kind of all have to go through that so that we can like, okay, I've been through this before. I know what I need to do. It's going to be okay. I'm not like, the world's not ending, you know, it's a game. I'll come back the next game even stronger, you know? Yes. And so I feel like just going through those steps and processes help me now be as confident or like positive as I am now. And even now I'm still learning. I still have terrible games, amazing games, in between games where you're just like, was she actually on the court? Like, okay, like, you know? And so I feel like it's always going to be a learning process. I don't ever think, or I hope that I don't ever get to the point where I'm just like this is like it, because I want to continue to grow and find new things that I can like make better with my game. So I feel like that all in all really helped with like how I play now and how I like hold myself now.
Yeah, that's amazing. You're you're just a lifelong learner. You know, like you're interested in learning things. You don't ever want to feel like you're a finished product. And that is such an amazing mentality to have and amazing insight to have at just 19 years old. Like that's pretty amazing. So props to you, because it's rare that you can find that early and, you know, have a desire to continue to learn and not be a finished product ever. Okay, so I want to know, what do you want to be, how do you like to be viewed? As a volleyball player or as a person, or are they kind of together? I'm curious.
As a volleyball player, I don't know, that's a really good question. I don't think I've ever thought about that before. I feel like you can't really, well, you can obviously view somebody before you know them, because we do that with everybody.
Yep.
If there's one word, I guess, I guess I would say, like, gosh, I can't think of one word. Like, it
doesn't have to be one word.
Yeah, I feel like nice. I feel like that covers a lot of the ground. Like, oh, she's like nice in a sense of like, oh, she's really good on the court, and then she's nice as a sense of, oh, she's a nice person. And then like, if we ever get to talk, like, then I feel like you'll get a new sense of me. I feel like I can't put words to like how I would want people to view me. I don't
you want to be
anybody,
known. Yes. That's what you want people to get to know you.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever like gonna be, I don't think anybody's gonna view me the way I view me.
For sure.
So like, just in a positive light, I would say, because that's how I view myself, and that's how I want others to view me, and be like, oh yeah, she's a nice person, wow, she's a great player, like all of those things. I wouldn't say like one word, or like maybe just like a feeling of like warmth, acceptance, like off the court, and then on the court, like
a team
scared.
player.
No, no, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
That's hilarious. No, hey, I mean, your block, you put up a big one. I would be scared if I was hitting against that. Okay, and then last question, and it's similar, but how do you, so when you're done at U of L, obviously we have some more time, thank goodness. How do you want people to remember you?
That's another awesome question. Wow, I've never thought about that. I guess I want to be remembered as like, I don't know, I'm trying to like phrase it in a way, maybe I'll just say it and then like adjust from there, like a pillar of Louisville. Because I know right now in my head, when I think of Louisville, I think of like Debo, or I think of Elena or Charity, stuff like that, you know? Like they're like Louisville, that is Louisville. It's not like the like bird, or no offense, Louis, we love you. It's not like the bird or the like sports. Like it's like when I think of Louisville, maybe it's because I'm volleyball and that's just like me, but I'm just like, oh, it's Debo. Oh, it's my team. Like that's Louisville. So I want to like be remembered as that. You know?
That's so good. Just to like, I don't know, embody everything that the program stands for.
Yeah.
Like that's amazing, and you're on the right track for that. I know it. I mean, it's been so cool to see your journey so far, and I'm excited to see how you step into that role. You know, I mean, you're already in a pretty pivotal role, but I mean, losing players like Charity and Devere and Elena this upcoming season, like that's going to be an awesome opportunity for you to step into that and, you know, really own it and be like, yeah, this is what I'm going to embody, all of that. And I know people will absolutely remember you in that way. So it was so good to get to know you more. Thank you for sharing. And yeah, you'll have to send me some K-pop recommendations.
I will.
Okay.
Yeah. I have like a playlist that goes on for maybe like 26 hours. I don't know. If you have a long flight or a long drive or just
there we go.
Anything, you can pop that bad boy in. Yeah.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
That's it for today's episode of Beyond the Court. Thanks for joining us, and don't forget to share and subscribe to Floyd Street Media on all platforms. I'm Tori Dilfer-Stringer. We'll see you next time.